Welcome everybody to episode 75 of the Auld Triangle podcast, and we would like to dedicate this episode of the podcast to Emil Piontek, who sadly has passed away. We got the news there this past weekend, and very sad news overall. And Andy is going to actually read out the statement from his gym CMAC on Emil, and I'll just leave it over to you, Andy.
Yeah, so obviously, look, really sad news. Just 26 years old. So CMAC kind of posted out that Emil was a fighter to his core, not just in the cage, but in life. He was a savage competitor and inspired those around him to be better, and the gym will carry his memory forever. Our deepest condolences go out to his family, who were his biggest supporters, always in his corner, whatever fight he was facing. And from all the gym, past and present, who Emil's presence touched and inspired, he'll be sadly missed. Rest in peace, Emil Piontek. Obviously, incredibly sad news. Caoilte, you may be able to speak a bit better about him. Obviously, you're kind of closer to the amateur scene, a lot closer than we were over the years. And you know, my understanding is he was battling cancer for a little over a year. I know he'd posted out kind of very recently that he'd been kind of battling this thing and seemed to be in very positive spirits. But I mean, what a fighter the guy was. Obviously, an incredible guy, and you can tell, through the posts of his teammates and everything like that, just how much he meant to the gym, to CMAC, and obviously to the wider Irish MMA community.
Yeah, it's very sad news, and he was a phenomenal fighter, to speak about his fighting career. And I think during his most active period and over years, he was probably one of the top prospects in Ireland in the amateur ranks, and could have been arguably one of the best while he was active on the scene. He was a savage in the cage, a phenomenal fighter. He'd fought some of the best around, the likes of Palahan, Leon Hill. He went off to the IMAFs as well, and he was representing the MMA Polska team, and he would have won the European bronze medal and world silver medal as well. So a phenomenal fighter, and it's very sad to hear the loss, and we want to pass on our condolences to everyone at CMAC, all his friends and his family.
Like a lot of people will look at those the fights he had 3 fights with Palahan, and ended up coming. Palahan, a terrific fighter, and he came out 3-0 off the back of them. So that kind of shows like just how quality a fighter this guy was. And I suppose the only thing else I'd add is that I've noticed from kind of the posts that you see from CMAC is that like you're seeing these photos of these lads when they look 14, 15, or maybe even younger. So the lads like Keith Keogh and Alexander O'Sullivan and Trevor McKengo and those guys, like, they've literally grown up with Emil. Obviously, they're professional fighters now and into their 20s, but this is a guy that they've known for over a decade. So I'm sure, look, it'll hit the gym incredibly hard. But as Caoilte said, we send our condolences, and rest in peace, Emil.
Yeah, indeed. Just to echo Caoilte and Andy's sentiments there. Very, very sad news that hit the community hard, and we offer condolences and our thoughts to Emil's family, his friends, and everybody over there at CMAC Gym as well. So with all that being said, we can continue now with the podcast. All right, it's draft time 2025. We were on the last time. We had a monster episode. If you haven't checked that out, thank you to all of the guests that have that took their time out of their schedules to come and speak with us. 13 guests. To break the fourth wall here, I thought it was going to go maybe a little bit more roughly than it did. It went super smooth, to be honest. There's very little editing. People were on time. People flowed in and flowed out. I thought we lost Andy about 2.5 hours in. I think he was staring off into the space at 1,000-yard stare. He was questioning life choices there. I thought we lost you there throughout that last episode, Andy. Are you doing okay? Have you recovered?
I've just about recovered, yeah. I'll break the fourth wall as well. Like, when we're doing podcasts, I find that I can't not, if same within like a work call, generally, like if you're on like a remote call, I just notice myself, and so I'll be kind of hypersensitive to that. And so I find that I'll end up smiling more or something when I'm on podcasts. And Jesus Christ, after 3 hours, I felt like I had a headache. I felt like my head was about to explode. And I genuinely thought I was seeing a ghost at one point. So never want to do a 3-hour podcast ever again. I don't know how anyone does it. Helwani does it, as you said last week, like every week and even longer. Nice. Joe Rogan, all these fellas, like, no, 3-hour podcasts. And I know we go long a lot of the time. I know we go over 2 hours.
Well, a lot of it is broken up, though. A lot of people don't know. Obviously, we might do an interview at a different time and we record the main part at a different time. So it is kind of broken up as well. So I know it was good. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great to get everybody on. I want to do it again next year. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's a good kind of a thing that we can kind of, bring. It adds a little bit of chaos into it, and it worked out well. But I just wanted to say thanks to everybody who came on and joined us. Thanks to everyone for listening. If you like what you're hearing, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify. Give us a thumbs up on YouTube. We're on all podcast platforms as well, so the support is greatly appreciated. We didn't get 1 second, Andy. Hold on there. Hold your horses here, Stevenson, for a second. Hold your horses. I'll lead you in. We didn't get too much to talk about, time to talk about 2025 in the last podcast, so we're going to do that in this podcast. We're not so much going to look ahead, but what we've Andy came up with the idea. I'll give him credit for a draft to pick out. Now we have to work all of these nitty gritty details out, and we decided to hell with it. Let's work them out on the spot, live and broadcast here. Is it a breakout year? Is it big years? All of that is to be decided, Andy. But we're going to be drafting 5 fighters in total, 4 professional, 1 amateur, onto a quote-unquote team who we think is going to have big 2025s or a breakout year in 2025. The terminology, like I said, Andy, that's all to be determined.
100%. I was going to interject actually around the liking and subscribing and commenting, and I had a brainwave that is incredibly cringe, but I'm going to go with it anyway. I was watching Paul Hughes's vlogs there recently, and he has this thing where he was talking about like the algo and algo sterling and all this kind of stuff for getting the comments going. So I was thinking our own one could be Jose Algo. So if to show you're listening, to show you're paying attention to the pod, you need to go and comment Jose Algo in the comments right now. And boost our thing. So yeah, cringe. I've stolen it from someone else, but there we go. This is
there we go. Let's see how many comments we get on that one then. Yeah.
None. 1. It'll be Sean Denny, Jose Algo.
Indeed. Right. First thing I want to bring to the table here is that when the idea was brought to our attention by Andy, we were going to pick out Irish fighters, but Andy came up with the idea of the draft itself. So I liked it. Caoilte liked it. But Caoilte came in with the bombshell in the group. Didn't know what a draft was. Caoilte, explanation, please.
I still barely know, to be very honest. I'm just going with the flow here.
I beg to differ.
This NFL, NBA draft, college thing, like I was watching the video and I was thinking, like, I don't know. I didn't really have the attention span. I was like, they're losing me here. So I have half an idea. It's not my forte. I've never done these draft kind of betting things that you guys be on about weekly that just goes over my head. So
the way you were talking about it there before we started recording there, we decided to bring it live as well. Is that you're coming on here with categories, with different kind of sections, subcategories, and I'm talking Andy.
He's full of shit, Ian. He's full of shit.
I think he is too. Now, when I was going to accuse you, Andy, no shady business as well, but I like country folk like myself and Caoilte have in the past been taken advantage of maybe by the city folk, like yourself. So I know it's hard to kind of keep up with you sometimes, some of the tricks you have up your sleeve, some of the shady business that does be going on behind the scenes. Use every now and again of ChatGPT. Have to. I hope there's none of that nonsense now coming.
No. I 100% did. Now I actually did, just to see if there's anyone I couldn't remember. And ChatGPT, let me tell you something. It doesn't know ball. Let's put it that way. It's
not the answer.
I'll say no more. But it's it's pulling out retired fighters and all this. Come on now. So basically, what we're doing is we're looking ahead to 2025. I think we need to figure out what the actual kind of framework of criteria is here. So like in my head, I'm thinking, because you have fighters who are, let's say, at the top of the sport in the UFC, PFL, etc., title extension, all that stuff. You've also got other fighters who are, maybe only a few fights since their pro career. You've got people who are just making their pro debut. So, if we just go kind of top down, like, it might just end up being like, okay, well, we're just going to draft anyone who's in the UFC. The way I see it is we're drafting fighters. So we said 5 fighters each, I think is what we said. Now I'm after making a list. There's fucking loads of fighters on this. So I'd be open to expanding it even if you want.
No, let's stick to let's do the 5. Let's do the 5. Look at this lad. Look at this lad. He's looking to see what I'm talking about here, Caoilte. See what I'm talking about? All week this man has been saying 5 fighters, and then he comes live on the Out Triangle, episode 75, and tries to increase the list. Caoilte, what can we do with this man up here in the top right corner?
Put him back in his place now, and we'll tell him what we're going to do.
100%. All right. So I've been thinking about it, and okay, we can go with the stipulation each. I mean, if we can agree and disagree with it, I would like to exclude Paul Hughes and Ian Gary from the get-go.
Oh, whoa! Hold on a second now.
What on earth is going on?
Hold on a sec. Okay, hang on now. I disagree. I don't know what I disagree on either, but it's my gut.
I have my mind set in a certain structure that I have in front of me that includes them. So
okay,
in my head, right? Because I went on a side tangent as I do every single time I try and make a point. This is like you're drafting fighters who you think are going to have a very successful 2025. Like just look at 2025, and yeah, that's what you're drafting.
Yeah, but and my argument to that is that I feel it's a no-brainer that Paul Hughes and Ian Gary are having big 2025s. It's like they're almost too good for the draft.
Yeah, but the likelihood is we have a 66% chance that I will get one of them. So I'm willing to play those odds. I'm open to it. You are right. Like the points you're making are correct.
And I would even go as far as to say that we should only have one fighter with above 10 pro fights on each one of our lists.
Ian, you're on to one here. This is what I was thinking. You have 5 categories. You got your season pros, which are 10 fights and above.
This lad's after making categories, and we've got no categories. And now
let him finish.
Season pros, which is 10 fights and above. You fighters that could become a contender in 2025 that are over 5 fights but under 10 fights. And then you've got your breakthrough prospects, which are under 5 fights. And then you've got your amateur / fighters going pro. So I kind of broke up into those categories. And so you could go, you can't really do one from each. You could do 2 from one category,
Well, it complicates things a little bit, I think, but
another rule. Hang on, you have to say rule. I don't like rules. For the record, we will argue the rules as we go along. And
okay.
That will work in my favor also.
Right. So obviously there's 3 of us here. So I would be voting to exclude Ian and Paul. You lads would be saying keep him in.
Do you know what? Take him out. That actually it makes our lives a bit easier, to be fair, if we take him out. So it's a given. Well, Paul Hughes.
Depending on who's going first.
Well, technically, if you're thinking now, that's assuming that you think Paul Hughes is going to go out and beat Usman or Magomedov, and Ian Gary's going to go and we're talking about successful 2025s here, aren't we? Now, I personally both will be champions by the end of the year. So
me too. That's why I think that it makes the decisions for us a little bit easier. And then, obviously obviously Ian Gary would be number 1, and Paul, or either one, whatever you prefer. Ian Gary, Paul Hughes 1 and 2, whatever way you want to put those as well. So it will put 2 out of the 3 of us in really strong condition.
So on one of us gets screwed potentially.
All right, do you want to? Let's take him out then. Let's take him out.
I think,
but just for the record, there'll be an asterisk if Ian wins the draft.
Well, how does someone win the draft then? What's the criteria? Do we go and fight? How many fights they've won? How many world champions?
I think. Firstly, I think we put it out to the people beforehand, and then we can review it. Come the end of the year when we do the 2025 in review, we can have a look at our draft again and debate. We can have a good old-fashioned debate.
Because in some of my lists, and I've been looking at my overall list, and what I'm thinking of is like, you know, like I do think Ian and Paul are going to have big wins, but I'm looking at other areas that I think some, not necessarily with any like the UFC, PFL, or Bellator, like maybe other fighters who I feel are going to have big years and breakout years, whether it be on, you know, the domestic scene maybe, or the European scene or something like that as well. I think, you know, you could look at towards how many fighters get wins over the course of the year, and you could kind of like, you know, manage it that way. But I'd like a kind of a wide range in. I think I like the categories. I like the categories, but I think the categories can limit us a little bit too, especially Caoilte. If you have one guy in a particular category or one woman in a particular category, and me and Andy takes that person and then goes and takes another person, then, you know, you could be fucking.
I'm looking at it. It just means you get different first choice picks for each category.
What are you thinking, Andy? What structure would you like this to fall under now?
I've come to your side on the Ian and Paul thing, because I think it'll be no brainers that we will end up picking them pretty quickly. So that will give us. I mean, I have a wide list here of a lot of fighters you could go with. So I think that'll give more. You know, we'll open it up. I think there'll be more balance across. I don't think we do for categories. I think what you had said before we recorded Caoilte about, we have one, so we get 5 fighters, and one of them has to be an amateur. Now, the one thing I do want to clarify, what constitutes an amateur? Like, is it someone who just hasn't fought at pro yet? Because
I would be, and I was going to try and put. Look, I'm making accusations here to Andy, but I was going to put a couple of fast ones as well with amateur. Like, if to me, an amateur is someone who has not fought. Someone who has not fought a professional fight, or do we go someone who has not announced officially yet that they're turning professional?
See, we only know 2 that are officially announced, and that's Damien and Fufu.
Yeah. So that to me, that would I would categorize those gentlemen as professional fighters, seeing as they've made that announcement then. But I'm glad that, because none of those would be on my list anyway, so fire ahead.
Oh, Jesus. Severe amateur of the year. Not even.
No, sorry.
No, yeah, Ian just said he hates the 2 of them. That's what I heard.
Damien gave us his time last week. And
this is like, you know what's going to happen. As soon as we put these out, there's every single fighter who has not been selected is going to hate us. And rightly so, to be fair.
Yeah, don't be mad at us now. We're only doing this for a bit of crack, everybody. Cool.
We're only selecting in human beings and drafting them for our entertainment.
Shall we put a bit of money on it as well, just to get more interested?
I have so just on the logistics of the actual draft itself. So Caoilte doesn't know what a draft works. So basically, let's say Ian picks, then Caoilte picks, then I pick. Now, typically, Ian, you're an NFL fantasy player. You do a snake draft. That would be the way I would propose this. So basically, it rotates. So you go, if Ian's first and Caoilte's last, it'll go Ian, Andy, Caoilte. Then Caoilte will pick again. And so it reverses. So it goes Caoilte, Andy, Ian, Andy, Caoilte, Caoilte, Andy, Ian, so on and so forth. What are your thoughts on that?
I like that. Does that mean someone's always going to be number 2?
Yeah.
Yes. But it also means that you'll either get 2 picks or it all balances out.
Yeah, I like that idea, but if we're giving it, I mean, my thinking would be if we're giving explanations, you know, it kind of, you know, I think I don't mind that way, but I also don't mind if first, second, third, with the same order the whole way through the draft, either for 5. So you have that just rotation of picks rather than the snake draft.
Do we get a substitute if someone gets injured for like 6 months or something?
No, that's the look of the draw. Yeah. Okay. Injure player. That's it.
So which way? What way do you want to do it, Caoilte? Because we're split now. So Ian's saying the opposite way. I'm saying snake. Ian's saying just keep the same order. You get the cast and vote.
The same order, each category.
Well, no, it'd be more rather than this is the way it could go. Just say it could go Ian, Andy, Caoilte, Andy, Ian, or it could go Ian, Andy, Caoilte, Ian, Andy, Caoilte.
No. Snake one.
Snake one. Okay, we're going for the snake.
Oh, he was snaking there.
I heard your name first every single time, so I was like, no.
Should we just get on with it? Should we?
Yeah, but who's going? We have.
I have another.
I have
another rule first now, and I'm fairly. This will throw a bit of a spanner in the works. Maybe you can only have one fighter from each gym. So if you pick someone from SBG, you can't pick another.
Yes. That's a good call. I was actually meant to bring that rule in too. That's
a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I have a randomizer here. Let's see if this works. I'm going to share my screen so there's transparency.
We'll take off the graphic there. No hassle. Off.
Whoops, daisies. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Good.
Wonderful. Right. So can you see that? Will I make it bigger?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Ian, Andy, Caoilte.
Is this will this go into a wheel? It will.
It'll. I don't know. I think it just does randomize.
Okay.
Right. Okay. I'll hit the button. Okay. So Caoilte, Andy, Ian is the random order. So it'll go Caoilte, Andy, Ian, Andy, Caoilte, Andy, Ian, so on and so forth. Right. Okay. Let me stop sharing my screen. We'll get the old. Whew, we're getting there. We're getting there now. We're
getting there now.
All right. So Caoilte, Andy, Ian.
All right.
Interesting. So we just need to put our little graphic back up. Where is that? Where is our little graphic? The L triangle. Here we are now. Okay. So we'll make our picks and then we'll give our reasoning as to why and carry on, will we?
Yeah, I think so. Right, Caoilte, you're up first.
I'm gonna start with amateurs as you guys will be delighted with this now.
Are you sure you're going to go with amateur first?
Yes, trust me. I have a long list and I have a lot of fighters that I think will have fantastic years. So I'm gonna get the amateur one. Go amateur first. I think it'd be on brand for me to do that as well. I think so I'm gonna go, and this will take SBG Nace off my list of gyms instantly. It might be a shock to you guys given their first pick, but I'm gonna take Alex Caoilte from SBG Nace. Undefeated last year, active is the thing, very very active. He's been rated extremely highly. He's one of those guys that's similar to, do you know the similar hype that Max Ali had before he went pro, or before he went kind of made his amateur debut, the full amateur debut. Alex kind of had that as well, and he's been spoken about similarly. He's looked phenomenal. He finishes fights. His total fight time is ridiculous, like how low it is. I think there's a big year for him. So Alex Caoilte, number one pick for my amateur pick even.
Like it.
It's a good pick. He was definitely on my list of amateurs and very near the top of them, to be honest with you. I was going to be lambasting. See, this is the thing, because you couldn't have gone amateur first if Paul and Ian were in it. But okay, so it's my pick now. I am going to go for the number one pick in the Irish MMA draft. For my very first pick is Lonnie Kavanagh.
Of course you pull some shit like this.
Objection. I knew this was going to happen. Objection. Well, let's check and see. Okay, let's do the topology rule. Let's.
It doesn't really work. Granny rule.
It doesn't really work. It doesn't work. Granny rule.
Lonnie Kavanagh. So he's in the UFC. I mean, this guy looks phenomenal, doesn't he? He's knocking people.
What did I tell you?
This guy could be a future UFC champion. And he's probably not going to fight ranked opponents yet. He's probably going to go maybe 3-4-0. This is going to in the UFC 3-4-0 in 2025. Woo-hoo.
No problem, Andy. If you want to go that way, if you want to go down that route, be my guest.
Andy,
what you mean? Like what? Why would you?
Well, I mean, I love Lonnie Kavanagh as a fighter. I appreciate his skill set. I know that there is some Irish ties there, but
his dad, I believe his dad's Irish. Yeah,
his dad is. His dad
is he?
Yeah.
What flag does he fight under? Has he fought under the Irish flag yet?
I've never seen him hold an Irish flag.
I'm pretty sure there must be a photo on the internet there now out somewhere. Lonnie Kavanagh Ireland flag.
Oh, hold on now. There might be.
I mean, like his team, of course, Great Britain top team. That's like pretty
Yeah, Great Britain top team, good top Irish prospect for 2025. All right, yeah, well done. You make sure you
Right,
put Great Britain top.
okay.
No, Stevenson.
No.
I think
I
I
retract
think
it.
I
I didn't
no,
say final answer. Didn't say final answer.
we didn't. That wasn't ruled. That's
Right.
this is
My
great.
pick, my
There
actual
can be
pick,
nothing easy with this fella.
my actual pick for my number one pick for the draft. I'm going with Nathan Kelly from SPG Ireland.
It's a good pick.
He's gonna have a great year. He's after getting this replacement opponent who he's gonna blow the doors off in a couple of weeks' time in Dubai, and I think he fights probably 3-4 times. I think we're gonna start seeing him rise in his level of the opponents as well. Obviously, he had that one match against Hassan Magomed Sharipov. I mean, this guy's got the jiu-jitsu, he's got the grappling, and he has hands of stone, knocking lads out, and elbows, not to mention, as Sean Sheehan recently posted out a beautiful elbow KO that he had last year. Nathan Kelly, for me, my number one.
Can I intercept really quickly?
Yeah.
There is a trail of Lonnie Kavanagh having an Irish flag on Dana White's Contender Series. He had the Chinese and the Irish flag on his thing. So Ian, there's a steal there for you if you want.
No, he's dead to me. No.
I wouldn't have considered Lonnie at all, and I wouldn't. No, I have an idea, and I tell you, Andy has come in with Nathan Kelly there. That's it was on my big hitter list too for sure, and it's a great pick. My number one pick, for my draft will be Paddy McCurry, number one. 5-1 right now. Obviously, we've seen him. I'm just a big Paddy McCurry fan, and I've always been a big Paddy McCurry fan. And I think fandom for me is definitely playing into some of my picks that you'll see here as well. But I think what we've seen with Paddy, obviously, 2024, massive year for Paddy. On the Ultimate Fighter, did very well, represented himself, FAI very well, came back, fought Ty Palmer. I'm very confident, and I kind of will predict Paddy's kind of 2025 here. I feel we're going to see him in one big fight, if not a middleweight title fight in Cage Warriors. And I think 1 or 2 wins in Cage Warriors, will see him go on to Dana White's Contender Series and pick up a win there. And I think we'll probably see him in the UFC, if not late 2025, maybe early 2026. So number one for me, Paddy McCurry from Team FAI. Well, I have to go again now.
A very solid pick. What I'm doing, I'm keeping track of these in the background. So that's Caoilte went with SPG Nace. I went with SPG. Ian went with FAI. And so are we saying, so Nathan Kelly's 11-2? That's my 10+ pro fighter gone.
Yeah, Well, I don't think we were doing. I don't think we actually went with. I think you could go with another 10+ fighter if you wanted to. But
okay. Yeah, great choice. And Paddy McCurry, I have to say he was high up on my list as well. I'm gonna have to scratch him off now, you fucker.
Yeah, he was high up. But you see, the rule of the only one gym rule now is kind of playing into effect for me now as well. And I didn't think about that looking at the rest of my list, but how's an ever? And I wanted to be said when I said it about Damien that he wasn't on my list was because I knew if he didn't pick Paddy McCurry that Paddy was going to be my number one, so I can't pick Damien in my amateur slot, unfortunately, even though I would love to. But my second pick, let's get onto it here. My second pick, and I think there's a group of these kind of fighters coming through that any one of them would be very, very high on my list, but I've got to go with SPG Nace's Conor McCarthy as my number 2 pick for having a big 2025. We've seen him coming in, obviously, and making his Cage Warriors debut last year. A very good debut. I've had the chance to see this man fight live at the Nationals, obviously at Cage Legacy last year. I think, obviously very highly touted. A top fighter, represents the sport very well. And, we're talking about #no college Conor McCarthy coming in 2025, and he's going to absolutely steamroll everybody, I feel, in Cage Warriors. So that's it. My number 2 pick, Conor McCarthy, SPG Nace. That's a solid start. Very happy with that start.
It's a great, right. So you've got Paddy McCurry and Conor McCarthy. You're only drafting people with a Mac in their name, basically, is what we're getting at here.
Team McNeil.
Okay. All right, so that's SPG Nace. So who does Andy go for now? Oh, Jesus. Right. There's a lot. Jeez, there's so many. So I can't go SBG again.
Nope.
Okay. So, and who am I? Now the question is like, see, the way I'm factoring this in as well to peel the curtain back. Like, there's obviously a lot of obvious ones you could go for in the UFC as well, but the level of like as you rise the level of competition. Now, maybe I'm giving away the game here. The level of competition rises, and it becomes a lot more difficult to have a standout year. So
it does. Though, when we're talking about maybe scoring and stuff like that. You know, that's it. But let's just pick our teams. And
okay,
you know
okay,
I mean?
Right. I'm gonna go with a guy who in 2024 rose massively in my estimation, as far as his potential, his abilities, and how far I think he can go in the sport. And that is Team Rhino's Solomon Simon. And he is my number 2 pick in this draft. The SevereMMA Emerging Irish Prospect of the Year. Solomon has looked tremendous. And most importantly for me last year, when he took that step up as far as like the experience level that he was going in against, he had never looked better. He rose and exceeded the expectations, exceeded the level that he needed to be at. And I think that he's going to become Cage Warriors champion this year. So for me, Solomon Simon, number 2 pick in the draft.
Solid.
Nathan Kelly, Solomon Simon. I mean, look at that. That's a team.
That's solid. That is solid, I have to say.
Very good.
Yeah, Sol was close to being my number 2, and I had to kind of fucking think outside the box there a little bit. But anyway, good pick, Andy. Good solid start on to Caoilte. 2 picks for you now, Caoilte. Don't forget, isn't it? Two picks.
2 picks. It is, yeah. Looking forward to this now. Okay. Oh, I have a bit of. Okay. I've only gone for amateur so far, and I'm not gonna go any seasoned pro. I know it's not a rule. I've not picked a seasoned pro yet, but 2 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna cross Team KF off my gym's list.
Ooh.
And pick one of the hottest prospects coming out of that gym. He's great crack. We had him on. He'll go anywhere. He'll fight any man from the looks of things. Doesn't matter about the weight class. I think he fought lightweight, welterweight, and it has to be. He's active. I'm picking active guys. Same with Alex Keogh, active. Dom Norcus, absolute savage. So 4-0 as a pro this year. Going.
You forgot his nickname, Dom the Traffic Light Finger Banger Norcus.
Yeah, no traffic light is safe. That's a good pick, Caoilte. I would have liked Dom Norcus on Team O'Neill myself, to be honest. But fair play, you got in there ahead. That's a solid pick there.
That is.
I have another pick.
That's a very good pick. That's a very good pick. You do.
Oh, I do. Okay. Oh, this is tough now. I wasn't anticipating this. Okay. Let me think. So I can't go KF and I can't go right. I don't think he fought this year. But
Ooh.
I think he can
I know where you're going with this one. That's a good pick.
It might see it's going to be 1 or 2 here, Andy, and I think you might get surprised by this one. So yeah, hasn't fought this year, I don't believe. I need to check this. Maybe he did and he lost.
Never mind. I'll get back in my box here.
2 seconds. No, he didn't fight this year. He was scheduled to. Fight fell through. Fighting, and before that he was one of the hottest prospects. It still is one of the hottest prospects in Irish MMA. And SPG Ireland's Lee Hammond.
Yeah.
Great
pick. He would definitely been a high pick for me. Great pick.
Lee Hammond. I thought you. Let's see. I can't say who.
Did you think I was going to say James Kavanagh?
Oh no, who?
James Gallagher. Sorry, I'm looking at my list in front of me.
I didn't. I thought you were going to say someone else, and I'm not going to say who it was. Lads, I need more than 5 picks here. This is a disaster. Right, for me, SPG and Team Rhino are out, so I can basically just cross out anyone from those gyms on my list. So, do you know what? I think I have it. I think I have it. This guy actually, and to be honest, I'm surprised that this guy has fallen as far as he has in this draft. What are we at now? Pick number 8 in the drafts. I'm going to go with a man from Team KF, from Finland, and I'm going to go with Omran Shaban. And we already know he's fighting this week. He's fighting tomorrow on Thursday. I think it's Thursday at UAE Warriors. We saw how good he looked in The Ultimate Fighter. I think that we're probably going to see him go on a tear here outside the UFC. And I think by the end of the year, we probably see him either. I think we see him in Contender Series, and I think all going to plan. Omran Shaban is in the UFC by the end of 2025, and he is my pick. So that's my third pick. We've got Nathan Kelly, Solomon Simon, and now Omran Shaban. And I believe this is the winning team. That's like, as far as I'm concerned. We are the dream team right now. The Lebanese Gorilla, the UAE Warriors champion, the tough alumni. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Is that fight still on against Teo Dunjo? I know it. I see it's
never mind that.
See, it's cancelled on Tapology there.
No, don't
Andy. Yeah, no fights. No fights, no. I mean, if you don't have any fights, Andy, that's the thing you have to think about too. So it's down to me. I have 2 picks in a row now. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to pick 2 in a row. But I am going to go.
I have a question actually before you pick, if that's
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
For example, you picked SBG Nace. I've picked Solomon Simon, who's technically Team Rhino Waterford. Is that Team Rhino gone for me? Is that SBG gone for you?
No, I think
no, Andy.
Because
come on, if Sol's up there in Team Rhino in Dublin the whole time.
There you go.
Are you trying to disrespect Bobby Meade?
No, I'm
Gary
not.
Wallace. Because I mean, they listen.
They
listen.
No,
so they listen. No, just think. Choose your words.
Incredibly careful. Waterford, but he's up there a lot. Like, you don't see the SBG Nace guys over in HQ. That was be my argument there.
I'm going to find
not as much as. Yeah.
Carry on. But like, if it's found that there's a photo of Alex Keogh up in SBG and we get to the end of the draft,
well, I'm sure
you only have 4 people on your team.
But Sol has told us that he does half his time down in Waterford and half his time up in Dublin.
No, it's fine. Listen,
I don't know. I know you don't always be listening for the interview sometimes, but that's 30. Okay, here we go. Pick number 3, Team O'Neill, going for the first woman to be drafted and the first UFC star to be drafted. I'm going to go with Sean O'Bannon, 6-1. Look at Sean had a quiet 2024, picked up a good win, and I expect a big 2025 for Sean. Obviously, she was on with us on the last episode. She wants a couple of fights this year. She's already matched for March, so I'd be thinking of March, a summer, and maybe a year-end one. We could be looking at a 3-0 Sean O'Bannon, or three wins. 3-0 for 2025 in Sean O'Bannon. I expect a big year. I truly believe that we haven't seen Shauna's full potential inside the octagon yet. Whether it be through injuries or other stuff, but she seems super focused. There's no question in her dedication and her drive and her motivation. So I think she's going to go in there. She's going to start off the year well for herself, pick up a good win in March in the London card, and I think that'll drive her forward to pick up another couple of wins as the year progresses. So Sean O'Bannon, Mama B comes on Team O'Neill for the draft, and I know you're talking a game here, Andy, but I'm liking what I'm seeing here. But this is where it gets difficult for me, guys, because I kind of need I have
5 is a couple. 5 is just not enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that we should be a little bit more, but I stuck on that 5 number now. So
how about we go to 5,
reevaluate,
stay within the parameters, and then we can keep going if we want. We can reassess at 5.
Yeah, we can move the goalpost there. But for Sean is going in. So my next pick. My next pick, and I was hoping I'm stuck here. My next pick, and I was hoping you wouldn't go early. I was hoping for a late round pick here, but I think I might go for a big 2025. Let's remember, big 2025.
Big.
Next will be. How many lists? This leave me with 4, so I can't pick any pros after this, can I? No.
You can pick McKay or
you can pick
Yeah.
You need to pick an amateur.
I need to pick an amateur though. So my next pick after this has to be amateur. So this is huge. We might have to go 5 pros and
there's literally so many. I've got 36 pros on my list, and I don't even think I've got them all. Like there's
Oh, it's carnage.
I'm going to go with next for me just to spice it up a little bit. I'm going to go with Will Fleury.
Oh, Octagon champion.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Will.
For your second SBG pick, I see, yeah.
Yeah, whatever way you want to say that, Stevenson. But I think, I know it was between a few people in SBG, but look, I know Will has had a massive 2024, and I just see it continuing on in 2025. I was hoping that he wouldn't go early. I think he has options there in the middleweight division in Octagon. He has options at the heavyweight division in Octagon. He's already currently the champion, so maybe title defenses and stuff like that might get me more points towards the end of the year, depending on the scoring criteria. But I have to go for an old southeast man like myself. Go Will Fleury as my 4th pick.
It's a good pick.
Good
I'm
pick.
trying to. Oh God! Now, see, this is what we really are in the business end of things here. Now, I've eliminated SBG, I've eliminated Team Rhino, and I've eliminated Team KF. I haven't gone FAI yet. Obviously, the SevereMMA Gym of the Year, and I get to pick before Ian for my amateur. And Caoilte already has his amateur. So I think I may keep that one in the back pocket for now. But who do I go for? It's tough. There's a lot of fighters who had very good 2024s. There's a lot when we did our shortlist, looking at especially the emerging prospects. When we were discussing that, there was a load of fighters. And honestly, I'm making my way down a list here, and I'm trying to find someone who's not from a gym that I've already mentioned. Apologies for the length of time.
I love the old non-gym rule. It kind of added a little bit of spice.
It honestly really has. It's made it a lot more difficult. There's a few. Fuck. There's one fighter that I'm really circling here that I think I want to pick, but additionally, there's a few other fighters. Oh, damn it! Right, I'll get on with it because this is terrible podcasting. But right, I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going with the Paddy Houlihan trained Houlihan martial arts Georgi Grozov for my pick. Because I think he's a savage. I think that he doesn't get the flowers. Well, we actually we talk about him a lot. But
we do,
but I think he's starting more and more to get noticed and to be starting to be put into that same bracket as the likes of Conor McCarthy and other fighters who I'm not going to mention yet because they haven't been drafted yet. So I may want them in my team if we expand. But Georgi Grozov, he's a killer. He looks to be rounding his game out incredibly well, and I think that we're going to start seeing him going into the likes of Cage Warriors and kind of doing what Solomon Simon did last year as far as bringing himself from that first couple of fights in as a pro to that next level where you're putting yourself in the mix for title contention on the likes of a Cage Warriors. So for me, Georgi Grozov is my 4th pick. He is 3-0 as a pro right now. And I believe all 3 are finishes. Yeah, all first round finishes, all first round submissions. So, Georgi Grozov, let's go. Over to Caoilte.
Yeah, good solid pick there. Good solid pick there, lads.
All right, final 2. Because there's 1 or 2 that I want that I think could get left out here as well. So I'm between 2 minds. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna cross FAI off my list, and I'm gonna take Jared Burns.
Oh, good pick.
I think he's had a breakthrough year. Was probably in the conversation for breakthrough prospect of the year, and I think he could work his way towards that Mokaev fight because I think Brave might want to build up to that as well. So yeah, Jerry Burns for me. I think he could. He's in for a big year. Oh, I have another one, don't I?
You have another one.
Yeah,
another
he went
pro.
2-0 last year as well. Jeez, he's on a tear, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's very good. Could have potential to fight Mohamed Mohayev this year if things go his way.
That's it. That's what I was thinking. You know, they might try and give him 1 or 2 fights to build up to that, and then have a big face-off for the title. I think it'd be a good one.
Yeah, it's amazing how Ian took a shot at me there for not listening to the interviews, but Caoilte had just said that, Ian, if you were listening. He had just gone into detail about, I mean, this is the disrespect.
I'm deep diving into my list here to see who my next pick is going to be. Sorry. So you have another one to go, Caoilte, is that right?
I do, yeah. I'm between 2 minds on who I go for here.
Just before you do you think the fight happens? Do you think that Mokaev fight happens?
I do.
Yeah, I think there's every chance that happens. Yeah.
I think they're
like
mad
he's
to
not going
make
back to UFC, right?
He won't go back. I don't think he'll go back to the UFC. Like, why they won't want him back? I'd say next year again. They'll want him out there, and I can't see them clamoring to bring him back anytime soon. Does he come back? Mokaev, I think he does, but I don't think they're clamoring to bring him back immediately. Like, you know.
They might have no choice eventually when they're running out of contenders, and if he's still doing what he's doing, but yeah. I'd love to see him in a random. I love these shows like Rising and stuff.
Already
like
has a over. He already has a. Sorry, Caoilte, I just rudely.
All right.
He has already has a win over an Irishman, Mohamed Mokaev. Remember that?
Blaine O'Driscoll.
Correct.
Yes, he does. In Brave,
good fight.
Great fight.
Yeah.
All right. I had a bit of time to think there. I don't think I've picked anyone over 10 fights, have I? Who's over 10 fights?
Yours have been no.
I've not. Do I have to? Oh, this could.
He's only has a few, does he?
I wouldn't necessarily say that you have to.
Grand. So this crosses off one that maybe.
Or Andy's not impressed. Andy's not impressed there. I can read his body language like a book.
Hold on now. So. I'm
stressed.
Right. I've noticed that a comeback is due. Another comeback is due in 2025. I'm looking at its comeback year this year. So yeah. She hasn't fought since
good pick.
And she still is one of the top prospects coming up in the pro ranks. Yeah, former IMAF world champion, Team Rhino atomweight, Nadine Abba-Bissett. And a pick for my my 5th and potentially final pick. We'll see how this goes. So yeah, year of the comeback. I think she's teased fight news. Maybe I think was it recently enough. So there we go.
That's a man who he came in here saying I don't know what a draft is, and he's been thinking about this. Like that's one where exactly she hasn't been around for a while. She had a baby. And now she's coming back, and not the most obvious choice because of the lack of activity, but a great
GFL
pick.
are signing atomweight for the women's atomweight division. Now, I don't think GFL happens.
Excited about anyone fighting in the GFL, lad.
No, I don't think it's happening. Don't think it's happening. But on the off chance it does, I think she'd be the perfect signing for them. But
I actually can't wait for their draft just to see what it's like. But yeah, speaking of drafts, I mean, they've already lost 10 million in funding, so that's not a great start before the draft even happened.
That's my 5. If we are going a 6, can I propose one? Can I propose a?
Not right now. Not right now. You can't. We'll have to do the foot round because Andy still has one and I still have one to go. So I mean, if we were going the way we're going next thing, I would probably get the next. I think we probably will end up going more. Out of the interest of fairness,
I would avoid upsetting the apple cart.
Right, we'll go round by round and we'll see how many more we can.
Well, so this is our last. So Caoilte has just kicked off our original final round.
Yeah,
I have to take an amateur fighter. I have not. Oh God! So I have not yet taken anyone from a variety of gyms, but I would say the biggest gym that I haven't taken from is Fight Academy Ireland. I've also yet to draft a woman. Oh, so I'm in between two minds, and these are two absolutely fantastic fighters. Okay, I'm going to work on the assumption that we're going to expand this draft, and I hope that this will work in my favor. But I can't overlook the SevereMMA Amateur Fighter of the Year, Damien McGuigan from Fight Academy Ireland. I can't overlook him. There was someone else that I'm really strongly considered there, but for me, Damien McGuigan, Fight Academy Ireland. I think, obviously we kind of gave the stipulation at the start there that he has indicated he's going pro. I think he will be phenomenal in his first year as a professional. I think we'll see him fight on Cage Conflict and other regional shows, and he'll probably blow the doors off whoever's standing in front of him, to be honest. But Damien McGuigan for me. Happy with that pick. Happy with the 5. Happy with the squad. But there's more. There's more out there. There's more. We've left plenty on the table here. And
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it in a minute. It's difficult. Okay. So that leaves me then. I have to pick my last person, and it has to be an amateur. And I was waiting with bated breath now. I'm not going to lie for Andy Stevenson to make his pick in the amateur ranks, because I kind of think I know the other amateur that he was talking about. And the one who is number 1 on my list of amateurs right now, and that would be C-Max Caoilte O'Sullivan.
Brilliant pick. Yeah.
That's it. And I mean, look, Damien is up there, but I had known that, Paddy was going to be up there for me. So Caoilte, I saw Caoilte numerous times, but getting to watch her against Carolina Arm at Cage Legacy 23, one of the highlights of my year last year. She was absolutely phenomenal. The skill set and level of skills that she has, and that she's, technically an amateur right now, but I would expect an announcement soon enough, maybe of Caoilte turning pro. And when she turns pro, I feel the world is her oyster. I don't say this very loosely, but when I see someone like Caoilte and how she's come up in the sport, the level of skills she already has, and how far she can grow, I think we're talking about world champion, and that's very early to be talking that way with her. And obviously, loads of things can happen, but that's the one thing that keeps circulating in my mind, and I'm over the moon that she's still there for me to pick as the amateur on my team. And that's it, Caoilte O'Sullivan. I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully, she can get fights. I mean, it's not easy on in women's mixed martial arts to pick up fights. Anyone would tell you that. Shauna, Danny, Emer, loads of people. So hopefully she can get those fights in 2025. And if she does, it's going to be a massive year for her. That's a solid team. I'm so happy with that. I'm so happy with that. I just want to say mine to my team. Both men and women on my original 5.
I knew this is coming.
I just want to highlight that when anybody is listening back, or anyone is given,
you're an ally. You're an ally.
When you're thinking about what way you're maybe ranking some of the teams, or looking at some of these teams, or who did a good job, I just want to mention that the guys are going to try and bring in extra fighters here and try and pad their teams, but a solid 5 for Ian O'Neill going in,
and especially if I was maybe Team Rhino or Team KF or one of these gyms, I'd probably be looking to say, Ian, really, 2 SPG fighters. I mean, the bias here is
well, look at
palpable,
right.
Palpable.
We that's true. But if we do bring in, that's the question now. Do we bring in more? What do we go 100%. Another round? We go another round.
If we're doing another round, I have another rule that we pick a fighter that doesn't train on the Isle of Ireland.
So, okay,
there's a fair selection there.
So here, okay.
What I was thinking for me, lads.
What I was thinking was we go, and maybe you think this is too much. I think we had maybe discussed go to 10. I think that's maybe a little bit much. I would say 3 more rounds, 2 pro, 1 amateur, and then however you want it. If you want to do someone outside of Ireland or not, because there's a lot. That's where, to Caoilte's point about outside Ireland, they're different gyms, so there's options there.
Yeah.
Okay, where you haven't selected.
So that means we're going 3 more fighters then, 2 more professional and 1 more amateur.
Yeah.
And it's my turn.
And Andy has to pick a woman.
You're up first.
And just let me know, lads, the lads are adding extra people so that they cannot be accused of not having women onto their teams.
I don't want to be called a misogynist, basically.
Misogynist. Okay, my next pick, I'm going to go with another amateur.
Oh,
And to be honest, this amateur would be somebody that I would have had very closely picked as number one. And that amateur is called Graham Sheehan.
oh, brilliant. Great choice.
I think that's my next pick.
Had an awful run of luck trying to get fights and between injuries.
Didn't
and
happen for him in
fallouts.
2024, but he can't have two bad luck years in a row. I think, on with his brother James there, obviously, he was talking highly of him, obviously, as he should be, but I think he's a phenomenal fighter. I think he's going to have a big 2025, and that's a solid lineup for amateur lads. And I'm fairly confident that I have two other good solid ones in my back pocket as well, coming through. So I moving on to Andy.
Grain bread. Good pick. I like it. Okay, I picked an amateur last time. I'm gonna go back to the pros, I think. And I'm gonna think of someone who have I not gone with yet? Actually there's a lot still on the table here, huh? I haven't gone a heap of gyms. I'm gonna go. I can think of about 5 different pros that are gonna be like, you lads are pricks for not picking me, and they have every right to feel that way. And I want to pick him, but I'm gonna go with a man who was on a very solid trajectory for the longest time, probably about 18 months ago. The train came off the tracks a little bit, not inside the cage, outside the cage, getting to the cage. He got them back on track in 2024. He won himself a second title in Levels Fight League, and I'm going to go with SPG Charlestown's Andreas Binder, who I think, the guy, whether he's fighting lads who look to be about 40 pounds heavier, 9 inches taller, he just finds a way to put them unconscious. He's got hands of stone, and I think that we're going to see him back getting the opportunities that were right in front of him, end of 2023, start of 2024. He's rectified the weight stuff. He's found his weight class, and I think Andreas Binder is primed for a big 2025, and he is on my team. Andreas Binder.
Very good pick. Very good pick. He's one that would have been unlucky now, I feel, to get into any one of our top 5s. To be honest, it was close with a few, and he was definitely close to being. If I didn't pick an amateur there, Andreas would have been a good next pick. I'll give you that one, Andy. Fair play.
Good pick.
Caoilte.
Right. I was actually thinking this fighter is about to be picked by Andy there, but no. So yeah, he. To be honest, I'm not sure. 2024 is a bit of a weird one for this lad. Had the one fight, was outside of the contract that we believed he was under, so I think there may have been permission there. I think he was fighting a bit of boxing as well. It was, I'm not too sure. So I'm hopeful that he actually has one lined up. I'm hoping for a big 2025. He may be from Cork, but he's not all that bad. He's living out in Dubai, John Mitchell. So after that tournament, that PFL Europe tournament, I think he could come back and have a really strong year, depending on what fights they give him and if they can keep him active. So yeah, John Mitchell of doesn't count as my MMA Cork, does it? So 971 MMA, wherever he's training nowadays.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a really good pick. It's you're right. Like, he's got this fight coming up on this PFL Dubai card or whatever. Yeah, I think it's PFL Dubai card, Champion Series, whatever. The likelihood, he's probably, I would expect to see him back in the European tournament. That's where I'd like to see him anyway for PFL. So you could be talking, like, what do they get? 4 fights in that? 4 fights in that? In the European, I can't remember the European one. Is European three fights?
Did he fight 3 times in 2023? I think it was. In 2023, he fought 4 times. But
4 times.
I think one was 3 times in the tournament, once outside the tournament. So
okay.
Potential for 4 fights this year under PFL, including a tournament.
So that could be a big year from. It's a good pick. So it is. So it's you again now, isn't it?
Oh, lovely. It is.
Nice.
I wasn't prepared for this. Okay, I'm gonna go back.
you
to the
have
amateur.
you said have or two professionals and one amateur left, Caoilte, is that right?
One professional and one amateur left
Okay.
now. And if the gym rule still applies,
100%.
Yeah, I might need to. It does still apply. I need to maybe rethink
Not
this.
giving that up. I think it'd be a hell of a lot easier, which makes it fun. It'd be a hell of a lot easier if it was if we could pick the same gym, but I like the one person from the gym.
Throw me off. Not all that much. Do you know what? So I was between whether to pick a pro from this gym or an amateur, but I'm gonna stick with amateur. Yeah, he's probably one of the most consistently one of the most active fighters around. Insane grappler, Tarico Plata specialist, Jake Nye for my amateur from CMAC.
Brilliant choice.
Great shout. That's actually a great shout.
Too.
Yeah, I had Jake down on my list as well.
That's a great shout. So that is your. He's
Second
amateur. So you got two amateurs. So I need. I need. Fuck.
You still have an amateur to go as well, Andy. Is it? Where are you? Are you at one amateur, one pro as well?
See, I have an amateur and a pro to go. Okay. Okay, right. I'm gonna go with. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anyone here.
There's one in particular I thought that I thought would be number one on your amateur list, Andy. Interview specialist.
Who?
The interview. I don't have to pick an amateur anymore. So
what was that young lad? Will I pick?
Don't be giving them any ideas now. Let them struggle.
Who's that 16-year-old fellow that I interviewed again?
From SPG and Ace. So no, this one will cover off. This one will cover off another gym for you both.
No, I'm gonna go with, because I am such. Unlike the misogynists here, Ian and Caoilte, I am an advocate for women in MMA and for women's MMA. No, all joking aside, I'm going to go with this fighter because I think she broke onto the professional scene last year. But let's be honest, the competition, the fights weren't really there for her. The competition didn't allow her to really showcase her true level, because even though she's absolutely destroying them, they were nowhere near close to her. I think that we're going to see her more active this year, and I think we're going to see her getting into better matchups, especially with the talent that's kind of breaking out onto the pro scene in the UK and Ireland. And I'm picking Emer Darcy from Compound Martial Arts. I think she will have a terrific 2025, and she's more than welcome onto my team. I mean, this is the team of champions, some might say. So I've been just saving for this Emer driven Darcy team Andy 2025 all the way to the top.
She's scheduled again.
Beautiful choice.
She is. She's for Cage Warriors Dublin, isn't she?
That's it. Yeah, I think it's the same one.
She definitely will be on that one. She definitely will be on that one for sure. So that leaves it to me then. I have two professionals to pick. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. First one that I am going to pick, a guy who had a good run too. I thought you were actually going to pick him when you were kind of after his professional debut who he lost, went on a good run. I was full sure that you were going to talk, when you were talking about this guy, it was something similar. Was on a good run, had a small little blip in 2023, but picked up a good win in 2024. And that for me is Team KF's Leon Hill.
Oh, that's a great pick. That is a great pick.
I think, obviously, that loss to Owen Davis, we spoke to Leon here. Or really, the new drive that Leon has had since that loss to Owen, and what he showcased against Tommy Hawthorne, who was a really good guy, getting that second round rear naked choke finish was a phenomenal win for Leon. I think, you can see the levels of dedication has increased. He's in ridiculous shape. He's hungry, and I think he's going to come out and have a huge win in early 2025, which will set up a big 2025. Will that be with Cage Warriors? Will it not be? I'm not sure. Is he still with Cage Warriors? I think he should be, yeah?
No, I don't know, to be honest with you, but on that kind of extra drive, like, he's always been someone who, like, I know, I just kind of see him as, like, I mean this in the most positive way, just for clarification, a psycho as far as, like, his work ethic and his drive. Like, he comes across like that, but he's actually moved into the gym now, I think. Do you know what I mean? Because I remember, I think he's basically taken the spot that Omran and Omar had. So
just showcase the levels of dedication. Yeah, for sure. That's we do a lot of interviews, obviously, here in the Old Triangle, but throughout, I was thinking about the ones that we did over the last year, and speaking with Leon, especially coming off of that loss as well. You could. His drive and his motivation is almost infectious. So I'm very delighted that I could get him. Very unlucky, I have to say, for him not to get into my original 5, but I'm so glad that we extended it and Leon gets it as well. So that leaves me with one more to pick, and it's not easy. List is dwindling here between guys that you picked and women that you picked, lads. Well, women that me and Andy have picked.
What?
Great jazz, Nadine.
I picked before Andy.
Caoilte twice now has been like, why am I getting a shot here, Tron?
She's sitting there like, lads.
All right, and I'm wary of the time here now. I'm wary of the time here now, so I'll speed it up. But my last pick, and by no means mean that in any derogatory term, Max Lally, SBG Charleston's Max Lally is my last pick. For why are you laughing at, Caoilte?
SBG Mace, no.
No.
This is one of those rules that...
No.
Come on now.
You can't do that now, lads. Come on. SBG Charleston.
Come on.
That's fair.
Okay,
That's fair.
Okay,
I was getting confused. I thought you'd already.
And I was getting worried too. I was getting worried. I thought you might be in a pushback, but I think that's fair pick.
Had you tried to use it for... Yeah, anyway, it's a moot point. That's allowed.
It.
I think that's
look, fair.
Obviously, having chatted to Max, they're talking about favourite interviews of 2024. I think the one that you did with him, Caoilte, where Osquelga is fantastic. It was brilliant. And he's continuing it on. He's over in Thailand. He's getting ready for his Cage Warriors debut. Obviously, whether that will be at bantamweight or if it'll be at featherweight is yet to be seen. But it's going to be a massive year. I expect Max to get maybe 2-3 fights in Cage Warriors, really break out onto the scene. And I am over the moon to get him on my team, and I am so happy with my team overall. That is my team complete. I'm going to shoot it over to Andy, let the lads finish their teams, and then we'll read them all through as well. So Andy, over to you. You're muted.
I'm muted. Oh no, your mic's not on.
Malfunction. No more picks for Andy. That's it. That brand new microphone, it's not working great now, Andy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you can hear. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Okay. All right. So sorry, what were you saying there? You were saying that you thought I'd be going someone. I don't know. There's a couple of gyms I haven't selected from yet. There's a couple of gyms that are on my mind. I am going for an amateur fighter here because I have to. And you know who I'm going for? Let me. I want to see. I want to pull up his record here in front of me. It's a he. And I just want to make sure I have his 2024 in front of me. This is a lad who went 2-2 last year as an amateur. He is a 4-8 record as an amateur. But I tell you, there's something about him. I don't know what it is, but anytime he's fighting, I want to watch. And I think that he is figuring stuff out in the cage that will lead to him having an incredibly effective style in MMA. And that is SBG Clonmel's Gerard Ryan. That is my pick for my final pick of my squad. Gerard Ryan, welcome to the team. Thank you.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Very good shout. Right. So that's Andy. So this is the last pick, is it?
Last pick
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
I think you're
Always.
complete. You're complete now. This is the last pick. Yeah.
Last
So you
pick
have
of
two
the
picks
draft.
now, Caoilte. Is that right, or one? Two.
No, that's he's just
2,
got
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Last pick completely.
yeah. This is
We all
it.
have 8 now.
Yeah, we're snaked back the other way.
Okay,
Yeah.
grand. Awful confusing. Okay, so I've got CMAC 971, Team Rhino, FAI, SPG, Team KF, and SPG NACE. Oofed. So, which way will I go with this? It's a toss-up here now of who I could go for. There's okay, so I'm not too sure if they're going to give one of these guys fights, so I'm going to leave him out. Then that leaves me with. I'm stalling here, lads. Sorry, I'm struggling. Who can I go for?
You have to go for a pro now, isn't it? Yeah.
Have to go for a pro.
I mean, to be honest, there's a lot. So you have who have you not used? You haven't used Team Torres. You haven't used. There's a bunch of gyms up the north. MMA Cork.
And then there's a few abroad as well that I'm looking at here. So, okay. Flip a coin.
Hooligan Martial Arts.
Come on, Caoilte. Get it out.
Right.
Come on.
I'm going to flip a coin.
Oh, what are you flipping coins? No,
Flip
make
a
your
coin. Just pick.
There's no.
All right.
Yes.
So, it's Matt, the Tui. He's probably one of our most regular guests and forgotten about. Great crack. Says it how it is, and training over in Scotland. Dylan Chuk.
Brilliant pick.
Yeah, so there was no. He's calling for a fight. I saw him today, and I was thinking Dylan be a good pick.
Yeah.
I think if they give him the fights, that's who I was on about. I'm uncertain if they will because PFL.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
About,
he was on my list too, but like I don't know what this current situation is. I think Dylan is in kind of an unusual position where, I feel he's good enough and has a well enough name to kind of fight outside of the European shows, but it's likely he'll only get probably matched on those European shows. But I'd be very curious to see how they do it. He deserves a fight. He hasn't been fighting. But he hasn't fought. What did he have? One fight in 2024? Two?
One
fight, yeah. So
didn't get on the Glasgow card then, which was crazy.
As well, didn't he, sure?
Right.
Yeah.
Love it.
Tell you what, lads, there's a lot of that. Like, if we don't mind, I can list out some of the people that we didn't pick.
I have some as well, yeah.
And maybe because there's a lot on here. I think the fact that we had this stipulation around the gyms really threw a spanner in the works, because when you look at some of the names who weren't picked, and then we also have the fans. What did the fans say? We put out a poll earlier on to see, who would people say have a breakout 2025.
When you say, actually, I meant to give you shit about this at the start. When you say you mean you put it up on your account, so you could get an idea of some breakthrough prospects and not show myself and Caoilte. And use that list probably to help build your team. I think that's what you mean by we. Is it? Yeah.
At least one fighter nominated themselves in it. I'm not going to say who they are. Actually, sorry, 2, and they're both from the same gym. Not going to say who they are.
Fair play.
But fair play. You got to self-promote. Damien McKenna's name came up a lot on this, actually. Someone we didn't mention. One lad that was mentioned in this as well that I was very close to picking. Oh, sorry, no. Actually, his brother, I was very close to picking. Sorry. Well, actually, I could have picked him for an amateur as well. Emmett Core was mentioned on the amateur side. But Jack Core, I think Jack Core could have a big year in 2025.
I agree.
I'm gonna just name out a load of fighters now.
James Sheehan is. I'm surprised James wasn't snapped up. I'm going to put it out there. I snapped up. I snapped up Graham, obviously, for my amateur. I think Kaya and Graham are my top 2 amateurs coming through, and I had my eyes on Graham, but if I didn't pick or someone else had picked Graham, I was likely going to go with James Sheehan as a pro and then maybe pick somebody else as an amateur. So that's kind of my thinking behind it. I'm surprised he wasn't snapped up in any team, like the current Cage Warriors welterweight champion.
Madness.
Questions need to be asked, lads.
How about Dara Kelly?
Dara Kelly, I mean,
as
he
well,
would
yeah.
have been up there for me. It was between, yeah, I was like, when I had picked Will, and then I was like, fuck, Dara was there as well. But, the similar enough to what we were talking about with Dylan Tuke is that will Dara Kelly be matched up enough with that promotion? But if he is, he's going to have a monster year in 2025. Rattle through him quickly anyway. Rattle through him quickly.
Yeah, I'll go quickly. So, I mean, like, you've got, you already mentioned James Sheehan, Omar Tugarev, Matt Elliott could have a breakout year. Keith Kyo, we didn't mention he's not going to like that one now. We're going to get some shit for that one now.
First, you don't give him his hoodie, and you don't pick him. What's this about?
GTA selector Jared Harris, Scott Harvey, Tiernan Loughran, three UFC, Caolan Loughran, Rhys McKee, Kiefer Crosby, Danny McCormick, I said Tiernan Loughran, Adam Darby, Jack Quirk, a lad who fought for the Bellator title last year, Cara Moore, Richie Smullen, Stephen Costello, Kieran Clark, Joe, and then on the amateur side of Jordan Scully had a great year last year.
And I mean, let's be real here. I think a lot of the reason why a lot of those fighters wouldn't be mentioned is because we had the one gym rule, which kind of would have limited us a little bit. But I mean, I think overall, when you're calling out those names and then you look at the teams that we have a very talent-rich country with fighters coming through at various levels, up at the top, breaking through, already established. I mean, it's going to be a very, very good 2025. Overall, Andy, then I know you have it down, maybe to finish off this and wrap it up.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll run through all the three teams and we'll get Caoilte to see us out.
100%. So we had Caoilte's team of Alex Kyo from SPG Nice, amateur, Dom Norcus, Team KF, Lee Hammond, SPG Ireland, Jared Burns, FAI, Nadine Abbott-Bissett from Team Rhino, John Mitchell from 971 MMA, Jake Nye, an amateur from CMAC MMA, and Dylan the Nuke Took from Higher Level. Andy, some say the best team, had Nathan Kelly, Solomon Simon, Amran Shaban, Georgie Grozov, Damian McGuigan, Andreas Binder, Emer Darcy, and Jared Ryan. And Ian had Paddy McCarry, Conor McCarthy, Sean O'Bannon, Will Fleury, Kai O'Sullivan, Graham Sheehan, Leon Hill, and Max Lally.
That's a quite good team, lads.
Very good team.
Very good team.
That's a very good team.
That's a super team.
I mean, my team is better, but like that's a very good team.
That's a super team. Even Andy dropped the guard there for a little bit and admitted it. But
no. Listen, the people are all good teams, and they'll tell you why it's my team. So we'll put them up.
Put it up.
If you want to comment and explain why Andy's team is the best, then feel free to.
Feel free to do so. And I guess we'll discuss behind the scenes maybe about how we will rank these teams, going in. Maybe we should have done that before we did the draft, but how's it ever? Welcome to the Auld Triangle podcast. And I guess that's it for episode 75. And the only thing left for us to do is for Caoilte to see us out.
Gur míle maith agaibh agus slán go fóill.